transitional team. That's why his ass dead now. Old ass lizard ass motherfucker. Stinking motherfucking bastard. Him and his gay ass punk ass son. But anyway, they wanted to use FEMA to centralize all of the resources and power of ours and then get a power to the Bush family in the garden plot. I don't think that was prudent for us, and none of the other chiefs on the land, even the low-ranking chiefs, didn't agree with it. So when they got rid of his ass, when they lethal injected his ass, because he had no fucking heart attack or no stroke and died, they lethal injected his ass just like they did John. Every motherfucking dirty deed did in
You
the
heard
last
me?
65 years. Where that motherfucker at? Matter of fact, I ain't even heard from that motherfucker.
I ain't heard from him either. I got the Kissinger report, read that mug.
Hey, shit. And that motherfucker right there, he probably at Gitmo right now sitting in the cell.
Probably. I ain't seen none of them motherfuckers, to be honest. Hillary, none of them. I know it's real.
So how can you increase your dreams? You need to get better rest, first off. There is supplements, just dream enhancing supplements. Yeah, so I don't have them all on the top of my head right now because it's a quick shift. If I was on the topic, they would all just come. But there are supplements to help you and teas to help you with your dreams.
Mugwort. Yeah, I heard about that too.
Yeah, mugwort, wild lettuce. It's actually a supplement I had. I don't know where it's at. I could have showed it to you, called Lucid. And it's a good supplement for giving you lucid dreams. It's excellent. Because I use that shit. Woo, boy, that was some good shit.
Somebody says Barbara Bush a man. Look like one.
Sure look like one to me.
A lot of these questions y'all gotta ask, they look just like what you're asking. Like, all you gotta do is look, oh yeah, that's me.
Shit.
Somebody said lotus flowers. I'm trying to drop some stuff. Melatonin is another one.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody says Inky coming to Earth.
Which shrooms?
Yeah, I've done them once. I fasted because I did some research on it. So I fasted for like a week and then I did them. I only microdosed though. I was acting scary because I heard so many stories. I was like, hey man, I'm in the crib by myself. I didn't want to get butt naked and end up going down the hallways.
I don't think it affects you like that. When I used them, I didn't have any of those crazy. Most of the psychotropics when I take, they just make me cold.
Yeah, I was cold too. I got cold. I get cold when I smoke weed though, so.
Oh no, I smoke weed. I be chilling.
I know you chilling. I'm talking about I be getting cold. That's why I don't really mess around with it. I do the edibles for the most part. I'm a girl. Yeah.
Shit, roll me up one. Look, I've been smoking my last at least 10 lifetimes. Why the fuck will I stop now? I stopped. I can quit. I will quit. I have quit for years. But I like smoking. And if I lie to somebody and tell them I don't like smoking, I got to first lie to me. And I'm not good at lying to myself.
Okay, me either. That is something I'm not going to do, won't do, can't do.
He lived up. So the answer to this question, if y'all looking at it, is he lived up to a covenant agreement.
He said, I saw a rainbow light coming out of the top of my grandfather's house for over an hour when he passed away in 2009. What did that mean? He was a Tuskegee Airman.
I don't know if the Tuskegee Airman is related to the covenant that he made with the Creator, but whatever it is, between him and the Creator, agreement that he made, he lived up to the agreement. Because the rainbows is used to symbolize a covenant being fulfilled and one being instituted. So he had some kind of a spiritual arrangement with the Creator that he lived up to. So when he left, it left the sign of the covenant for the rainbow children. That's why the rainbow is the sign of the covenant, because when the rainbow children come, that's supposed to be the end of the rule of the Anunnaki on Earth. The rainbow children are the earthborn children of the stars who have no connection, or who have a binding tie to Earth, a genetic tie to the soils of the Earth. And when they come in all ethnic groups that's existing on the planet. So you thinking because I don't like them white folks? Well, some of them is rainbow children that's here to clean this shit up.
I keep trying to tell them that. They don't hear though.
So you mess around and allow the hatred of Enlil's children to infect you, you're gonna end up going with Enlil children.
Don't want to
They
do
can't
that.
stay here.
Spiritual response. What are your thoughts on spiritual response therapy?
I'm not quite sure what you mean by spiritual response therapy.
Me either. That's why I respond, because I don't know what that is.
I never heard of it, at least not in that terminology before, so I can't really speak on it right now.
Yeah, y'all better stop going around here following this whole hatred of color and all this stuff. Listen, y'all, we operating out of love. Bottom line. Period. And if somebody ain't loving you back, then guess what? Go on and get on out their way, or make them get out your way. But either which way, to operate in love is what you should be doing right now, period. So, hey, I ain't gonna keep on saying the same thing. That's why I let you talk. Because they don't know how serious it is on everything.
Then the whole thing now is to overcome all of the traumas. That's the universal shadow work.
Mm-hmm.
The universal shadow work is to overcome all of the traumas, the racism, the sexism, the religionisms, the policies and practices that didn't serve anybody's interest but the ruling elite. All that shit we got to overcome. Stop trying to be like trying to keep up with the Joneses and be in your own lane. Let the Joneses have their lane.
Mm-hmm.
You can let the Combses have their lane, and you make your own fucking lane. Be your own individual with your own aspirations and ambitions to achieve your best life on Earth. And you can plot your best life if you can see what it looked like. You'll get there.
Right. That part. I know that's right.
Them goddamn dirty ass niggas hurt my feelings so bad.
Man.
I said, I know what Pac meant when he said, I ain't never think a motherfucker that looked like me would shoot me.
Dang, I know that's right. My first heartbreaks came from my people that look like me. And I'm talking about not in a relationship. I'm talking about just everyday life. You know, being called, you know, black and this, and, you know, in a negative aspect. You know, it was my people that did it to me. It was never I heard probably a couple times, you know, derogatory things said from a white person when we moved to Arizona for the first time. But other than that, like, it was always my people and within, you know, my community where I had the most, you know, backlash and was talked about and things like that.
I done lived around our people, they people. I done lived around the Asians, Latinos, and the worst motherfuckers I lived around was niggas and crackers.
Yep, facts.
I ain't never had no problems out of no Mexicans, no Chinese, no Koreans. I ain't never had no problem out of any of them people mistreating me or talking down to me. But I definitely had problems of motherfucking being called nigga by them crackers and called motherfucking a piece of shit, dappy head motherfucker by the nigga. So I don't get into that shit. That shit don't got nothing to do with me.
I was just at karaoke last night, and everybody you just named was in karaoke, and I was kicking it with all of them. Okay, and they was embracing the hell out of me. So I'm the only chocolate person in there until this man came in there. Other than that, it was white, Chinese, Mexican. There, oh my goodness, they was just. I was like a bright light that walked in that place. First, it was all gloom and doom. I walked up in there, it was like a ray of sunshine for them. So well, I'm just letting you know I have a different experience in life.
Yeah, so I mean, we can look in the history books and cry over most of that shit is lies anyway. And here goes something else. This is something else. Even if you look at the history books that they give us, every time we decided to revolt, rebel, insurrect, or uprise, it was always instigated by a pale face telling the nigga, you don't know you a slave?
Yeah.
Let me help you get free. And the niggas always sold the niggas out.
Mm-hmm.
The niggas is the ones that always sold the revolt, the rebellion, the insurrection, the uprising. The niggas is the one always sold it out, even if it's a fictitious story like Nat Turner.
Mm-hmm.
Still, the niggas that sold them out.
Yep. And Black Wall Street, shit, that went crumbling not because of the white people. Shit, they had the black people that was behind them to help that happen. So we can't keep on just going off of this narrative.
The same motherfuckers Kanye fighting.
Yeah.
They're the same motherfuckers.
That helped destroy Black Wall Street.
Same motherfuckers. They all of the discord from the land for the last 500 years was never us. Even the so-called gang wars, they infiltrate, they send their kids up in there with us like they are one of us.
Mm-hmm.
But you always gonna know them because they're gonna be like, man, if I was you, I'd shoot that nigga. And they take you all the way to the shooting. And when the shooting go down, that nigga ain't nowhere to be found. And when the police come, he the only motherfucker ain't in trouble.
Yup, you sure right. Ain't nowhere in them jail cells with y'all.
He already know. You know the dirty doing gonna get you locked up, and he don't want to be with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're gonna take 2 more questions, G.
Yeah, let's get on up out of here. We sure been on here for about 3 hours, y'all. So if you missed some of it, just go back and replay it. We talked and covered a lot of things. Vidal was on here earlier if you just getting on. Yeah, so if y'all got like Rod said, a couple more questions. Other than that, we gonna head up off of here. So we've been on here for a long time. Always, Rod, you know, it's always a pleasure to be able to build with you. But we build all the time. People don't know that, but to build with you on live stream and you know, to where other people can actually build with us as well.
Yeah, I like the atmosphere. It's the ambiance, is what they say. Ambiance.
Well, you know. it's the ancestral bloodline, you know. Somebody, I guess Kathleen wants to get in contact with you.
She can inbox me on Facebook Messenger or Instagram Messenger.
Okay.
On Instagram, I'm on the SikApe, THESIKAPE. On Facebook, it's just Rod Hayes. Hey, look, that shit ain't what y'all think it is. Y'all think that's giving a motherfucker a license to do a purge? Watch what happens. Niggas still gonna be locked up doing dumb shit.
So you said they still gonna be getting locked up doing dumb shit?
Yeah. Look, just because they see Illinois and several other states was refusing people a reasonable bond and violating their constitutional right. The right to a bond is a constitutional right. It's not a privilege.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have somebody that's blatantly defying the law under the pretense of authority, what they call acting under color of law, you have to change the law. It's too late for that shit, though.
Mm-hmm.
What you want to know about Genghis Khan? Genghis Khan got a whole lot of information attached to him. Half of these motherfucking $5 Indians, his kids, grandkids, great grandkids.
Mm. They got.
But then the ones, look, here go the kicker: the $5 Indians, that's the descendants of the Khans, Genghis Khan, Kublai Khan, and them, that was took captive by Etruscan Romans and brought over here as slaves, and they passed them off as $5 Indians. Seen who we was and like, oh no, they're my cousins, nigga. We got one for you. And they the ones that crossed out the settlers that brought them over here in order to side with the organic people from the land. Yeah. So they agreed to hold our cultures and our secrets sacred until we can goddamn it get back on top. But the motherfucking kids of motherfucking the Huns and them Vedic motherfuckers from India that they brought over here,
Man,
them the motherfuckers that want us to stop telling motherfuckers who the fuck we is.
I already know. They mad
Somebody,
about that.
they wish we had just stopped telling motherfuckers we Indian. I ain't no Indian motherfucker. I'm an organic earthling from this part of the earth.
Aborigine.
You could be the Indian all you want to. I'm gonna be the organic motherfucker already here when you got here to give you your license to be an indigenous motherfucker.
Well, that was our last question. We're going to get off of here. We've been on here for a very long time. We've been on here 3 hours. We didn't clocked in, basically. We clocking out. But again, thank you, Rod. You know, we'll be in contact. Like Rod said, if you all need to get in contact with him, to message him on Rod Hayes on Facebook. And then can you give him your Instagram again? Because you got a new one, right?
Yeah, my Instagram is the SikApe. TheSikape. The SikApe. I don't know how long that's gonna be up. After that, I'm gonna be going to TikTok. Fuck them up. Because they blocked about 5 of my posts for Kanye videos.
Dang, that's crazy. They really on this push to try to block his messages. All right, y'all. Well, don't forget, what's our hashtag?
Ye is right or
Kanye was
Kanye.
right.
Hashtag Kanye is right. Either one of them is good or both of them is better.
Period. All right, y'all. We finna get off of here. Have a great evening, everybody. Remember to stay grounding. Remember to go within. You know,
read the real time, and then I can do a mathematical probability. I can also do what they call a stellar alignment probability, according to the alignment of the stars. But for those who want more information, you can ask the oracle readers, the card readers, and the psychics, because at the time now, the energy level is so high that the accuracy levels is higher than they ever been in modern history. They haven't been this accurate since they was hijacked by the Romans in Greece in as oracle priests of Delphi. Right? They were accurate like they are now back then. And when the Romans took over Greece, the accuracy diminished until now it's returning. So you can ask oracles to do card reads on these current events and what do they indicate, and they're going to all give you a general time frame to work from based off the movement of the energy. Some of them going to be so latched on to the energy, it's going to be like binge watching your favorite TV show. They're going to keep coming back every day doing spreads on the same energy because they'll see the changes that fast in the oracle read. A lot of times when I tell people that don't understand what I'm saying, I say refer to the oracles and ask them if my information is correct, because what you can't see with the spiritual eye, you looking physically, they can see spiritually what I'm telling you, and then they can tell you physically what it's going to mean. Because they're catching the energy as it's changing in real time, and they're using the focal point of whatever their oracle style is. Some tea readers, some read runes, some read cards, some read entrails, some read nuts, some read shells, but they all got their own way of interpreting those energy signatures that's coming in from spirit. Right.
Yes, and I'm kind of running while you're speaking. I'm running about 4 different readers on the information about 4 different ones I know do reading, so you might want to reach out. But there are folks that are on YouTube that are doing daily.
Yeah. You know, so my some of my favorite tarot readers is Blue Rose Tarot has uncanny accuracy. Also, I listen to Brittany Madison, who has an uncanny accuracy. She's actually done spreads on the because and she did some other reads too. I asked her to do a couple of other reads and she done them. Then you also, it's a sister on here who's looking at the organic side of it, the tribal side, named Chief Janace. She's pretty intuitive, and she's coming from more of an academic angle from her intuition, and she's sharing information. There's a couple more of them. I don't have them all off the top of my head like that because I'm horrible with names, as hard as that might be to. But those are just some of the ones that that I listen to who has uncannily accurate information, and I can also use the information to go into more detail.
Yeah. Well.
Right. So I can listen to a tarot spread and refine the reading by adding more definitions to more parts of the cards than the reader is actually doing.
Mm. Wow. Yeah, so you got that background. You got that background. Listen, we are 2 hours and 39 minutes into this wonderful show. Not even want to call it show, broadcast, information, broadcast update. And again, I just, I'm open, honest, transparent. Planned another show for this evening, and then we had to postpone it for another time. And at short notice, reached out to you, Brother Rod, who, as you said, you had just finished completed an assignment that Big Mama had sent you on, and you were like, "This is perfect." You know, I think you were thinking about update, and I called you about update. But then I was led to ask you, let's talk about you. You know what I mean? Let's talk about what you know.
Because a lot of people don't know the struggles that go with doing this work.
Right.
Like I'm doing fast sometimes 30, 40 days, 50 days in a row.
Fast? Did you say fast?
I'm fasting.
Fasting. Okay, that's what I thought you said. Okay. Yeah. So you break it up again though. See, I just can't imagine that unless that somebody, well, I do imagine that they are actually interrupting this broadcast, which has been absolutely, but you said for 50 days, you're doing 50-day fast. Is that what you said?
All kind of fast. Some of them be 3 days.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah. Some of them be 3-day fast, 7-day fast here, a 20-day fast, a 30-day fast. The longest one was about 50 days. And if you go back and look at my videos, you can see how skinny I was.
I remember seeing one with I think the picture that I used on here, you look real skinny. Your face was real thin. The picture I used for the, that you a lot slimmer,
right.
More slender. Yeah.
Right. So I went, my physical condition is about 260 to 268. I had got all the way down to 180 something pounds. So I lost almost 100 pounds doing fasts alone. That don't got nothing to do with the meditations, the shadow work, facing the demons. And that's generational curse breaking. That stuff not easy. It sounds easy, but most of us don't understand that we actually breaking generational curses by changing certain behavioral patterns that we picked up from our parents.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And yeah, and it's a lot of things you got to face. And then you have to it's almost like Prometheus. It's almost like, well,
I always tell people,
you're breaking up.
Can you hear me, Dr. G?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a lot of work went into this. A lot of years of studying went into this. My library is ridiculous. I got like probably 20 totes packed up with books, and I'm not done packing.
Wow. And how much time did you actually end up doing of that 18 to 50 year sentence?
About 16 years and 8 months.
Okay. So you did some time. So you had time to get your PhD.
A couple of them, because my favorite. Okay, so you have what you call your what you naturally drawn to is medicine. That's me. Me and my cousin Calvin were supposed to be doctors together. He went to university to become a medical doctor. I went to the underworld to become a witch doctor. We still became doctors. We just different kind of doctors.
Okay.
But I became a witch doctor to hold up our agreement that we both be doctors. This one of the things that entails is becoming a naturopathic physician by studying naturopathic medicine.
Right.
Right. Now I don't have what they call the degree paperwork. So what I have to do is find one of us on the land from where I'm from to send the people to that got the paperwork. And that's Dr. Pittman here in Pontiac from Herbalife. You can find him on my YouTube page. If you put in Herbalife, you can't miss it. That's what it is. And it's in Pontiac, so you'll know it's the right one. But I refer people to him because he got the paperwork and he know the information that I know about health and maybe even more. I'm inclined to believe that he's more versed in what he called Ayurvedic medicine, which is a naturopathic medical training. Every doctor from India goes through it with their Western medicine teachings. So if you
Yeah.
get a doctor from India and they want to write you a prescription, always ask them what's the organic treatment for this. That's a naturopathic remedy. They'll have to give it to you because as a doctor, if you ask for an alternative to treatment that's effective and they're aware of it, they obligated under their Hippocratic oath to give you the information. So the last physician that I was attending was from India. And I used to ask him all of the information to get all of the. I used to be in there quizzing his interns and asking them medical information. And one of my favorite things to ask them is the most fascinating thing they learned about the human body. Because for me, the most fascinating things was you don't just have a heartbeat, you got a brain beat. Your brain beat like your heart. That was so amazing to me. So when I started doing my fetal development studies, it made sense because the same stem cells that form the heart is also pulsing, forms the brain. The central nervous system is formed in a straight line, and from that, the heart and the brain both come from different parts of it.
Right.
And
The spine being the governing vessel where it
yeah,
starts to form on. Yeah.
and your third brain is your intestines. And if you learn to control your appetite, you can control your base desires for anything.
Okay.
Increases your willpower overall. That's why we train fasting so hard, because we actually are at an internal war to take control of our willpower from our ego self that the society created. It's a power struggle. W.E.B. Du Bois called it the warring soul in souls of black folks, right? And he described it as the Europeanized white self is in conflict with your organic black self, right? And
Wow.
you are in a dilemma at all times on which side, which one of these selves of yours do you take sides with? As soon as he told me that, I said, I want the organic side out the gate. I don't want the other side. They can keep
I know that's right. I know
I,
that's right.
right. The society created that by other people's opinions of me. That don't match my opinion to me, so I don't accept that.
Mhm.
Right. So they told my mama I wasn't gonna never learn nothing. They told my mama that I was gonna be incorrigible and that I'm always gonna be slow and behind everybody else academically. But they didn't know is I was just biding my time so I could jump in another lane, burn rubber, and leave their ass in the dust. Because the same people that told my mama that when they was my age didn't know half the shit I know.
Right. So here's something else probably people did not know about you, that you had such a background in a holistic and herbal medicinal formulations, and just the knowledge of what is and what isn't going on a holistic basis. But you and I have spoken before, and you have shared that with me. For me personally, I the same thing you have with the doctor that you mentioned, Dr. Botanica, who I also advertised, on the channel. He and I, Brother Dave, but now more Dr. Botanica and I work together because I do the AO scans, and when those reports come up and show all of this stuff is going on, not now he can read. I can read them, but he could read them from his medical, holistic, and medical practice, and he does use a lot of Oriental medicines. He understands and understands and understands. So we work together. So once I do the scan, then he gets the reports, and then he can give them protocols and so forth. And I've seen so much. I mean, my cat was listless for like some of y'all have seen me pick my cat up sometime and put him, let him be seen. Well, 4 days ago he became ill and listless, and he hadn't eaten for 3 days. And I was getting ready to take him to the emergency place where they wanted like 350 notes to walk in the door, just to walk in the door, not to do anything to him. And finally scanned him, and all kinds of things were going on with him. And even the chakras were out of whack. I mean, of the cat, and they have some extra different chakras that we don't. They have something called a bud, which is on each one of their feet, that chakra. But anyway,
we have them too. Under our foot, the sole of our feet has a chakra on each foot. The palm of our hands have a chakra in each chakra.
So what they call them on the cat or the dog is the bud chakra. And so it showed all of that. And I think 7 out of 9 or 6 out of 9 chakras of his were out of whack. And his blood count, this, that, a lot of things were going. He was listless. I had to call him a couple of times to see if he was still breathing, and sent it to Dr. Botanica. And he's reading this, these things, and he's seeing nutritional issues and various things. And then, bling, it hits me. What would have made him become sick like that quick? We had put Turo ant killer in a little container and around, because ants had invaded the kitchen, and we had them around, the island. But one of them got kicked, and the liquid came out. So intuitively, I knew cat must have licked that, thinking it was right, and he was poisoned. I sent him, scans and did some different things. Ordered some things on Amazon. It came in 4 hours. Force-fed him, did some stuff, and couldn't find the card that I was going to take him to the emergency room and send him scan frequencies. And this morning, scanned him again. All of his stuff had changed. All his numbers, everything changed. Everything that was, all of his chakras are in balance except for his heart. Heart chakra still, and it probably is always out of balance because he's kind of like that. But today he got up and ate after 4 days, and he kind of came back to himself. But it wasn't until I realized what had happened to him. And so, and I also sent his scans to Dr. B, so he could look at them and he could see that something was going on. But we have determined that he has a mineral deficiency, like a lot of us do. So, but I'm just saying that type of approach to stuff. And, when you know that stuff, you can be such helpful to yourself, to your family, and to your friends. You don't make yourself a victim to allopathic, pharmaceutical, drugs that are going to have all kinds of side effects and all kinds of, side effects. So I'm happy for the natural approach. And then you told me something today about the importance of magnesium.
Yeah, because you can't use any of the trace minerals required for bodily functions without magnesium. It's the great synthesizer. And the same with vitamin C for all of the vitamins. It's the great synthesizer. And one of the old books I read went into the medical studies on nutrition and the different vitamins and how they affect certain conditions. And you would be surprised what they call macro dosing, massive doses of vitamin C cure so much stuff, but they don't want people to know about it because it's a facilitator for all of the rest of the vitamins. And magnesium is the facilitator for the trace minerals. And have
you ever heard about glutathione?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I put glutathione in my mouth, and in nano, these are like down to a nanoparticle, because when it gets into your gut, everything can get burned out, but it works in the mouth. So because I swish it in my mouth for 30 seconds to a minute, it absorbs the nanoparticles in the jaw and gets through the body that way and bypasses the stomach acids. And but these are things that we don't study. We rather have somebody else give us all of these poison things, and we need to do more. Yeah, but I'm glad that we see all of these phases of Rod.
You remember when you had me talk to him? What the first thing he asked me about?
Dr. B.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever it was, I knew you knew. I realized you knew.
It was about the PQQ.
PQ. I'm on PS. Me on PQQ. Yeah.
Right. So the PQQ is for the mitochondrial. It's the fuel for mitochondrial in the physical world. But most of the mitochondrial, when it's operating in its optimum function, it's spiritual. It's the spirit energy that charges and powers the cell at its micro levels.
Mm-hmm.
So when he asked me about it and I started telling him that it was the fuel for mitochondrial, he said, man, you know how many naturopaths I asked about that don't know what that is? You know what it is?
Yeah, you
Right.
did. Yeah, you did. I didn't remember which thing it was, but I knew whatever it was, you knew it right off the bat. And so, but yeah, so, I just try to do the things that are natural and to keep myself, going. I'm sitting here, I'm sweating. I'm sure it's like 90 degrees still here. We've been on here for just about 3 hours. Listen, we have an event coming up. I wish, I know you can't, but I wish you could be here. But we have an event coming up in August, and we are hoping that all that can, because last year we did 2 of these things called Up Close and Personal, and this year we're only going to do one, but it's a whole weekend, 3 days. So we're hoping that we can get at least 85 to a max about 100 folks to come out and hang out with Grand Sheik and myself and others, and who knows.
That'd be a great pleasure if I'm able to make it, but I don't know what Big Mama gonna have me doing next.
You will ask Big Mama, because we'll bring you here. I won't even announce it. It will be a secret. If you do show up, it will be. I wouldn't even put it on the.
It would be on short notice anyway, because